Alisha, and you are watching me with Inspire Her. I'm an associate software engineer at Red Hat, and I have been associated with Red Hat's performance and scale engineering team since last 1.5 years. First 6 months as an intern, and then 1 year of associate software engineer. And I am working on a project that is a benchmarking and performance analysis framework, and I am responsible for its user interface design, and I deal with a lot of web technologies, and I usually work on React, and I deal with a lot of queries of Elasticsearch and GraphQL. And recently I am working with a design framework called Patternfly, and I'm learning more and more about user experience design. So yeah, that's about me. So here I'll be answering few of your questions, probably 6 to 7 questions, and without any further delay, let's get into that. So the first question that we are going to answer here is, can you elaborate on the work you do and what the job entails, maybe even qualifications for the same? Okay, I started my journey with technology in the year of 2016. At that time, I started with basic data structure and algorithms, and basic HTML, CSS, and then gradually I started learning JavaScript and the other libraries like jQuery, and I got familiar with design frameworks like Bootstrap and Material Design. And then I got my first internship with a local startup called Lecture Notes, and there I learned how to write the production level code, and then I started writing clients server side code with Node.js and Express framework and a couple of other frameworks, and then I started learning about database management with MongoDB and MySQL, and then gradually I shifted to Python with image processing and machine learning. And luckily, I received a summer research fellowship with Indian Academy of Sciences in the year of 2018. And I did a couple of research projects over there and published my first research paper. And then I moved on to learning data visualization and concept visualization with D3.js and 3.js. And then with my next internship at Hyderabad with Mitra Energy, I learned a lot about industrial experience and how to write proper code in a proper format. And then after around a year, I got to interview with Red Hat, and I got selected, and probably that is the best thing that has ever happened to me. And right now at Red Hat, as I said, I work with different web technologies like React, Redux, and Postman, GraphQL, Postgres, databases, and Elasticsearch queries, and a bunch of different design frameworks like Andesign, Patternfly, and right now I'm learning a lot about user experience designing, so it's hell of a journey. So yeah, it's pretty exciting, and that's what I do. I deal with different web technologies, and I work on web development. So the next question that is for us is, what kind of challenges did you face to get where you are right now? Okay. So I think the first challenges that I faced is not having a computer science background. I started doing work in software in my first year of engineering. Before that, I didn't even know that there is something called programming language that exists, and so it was kind of difficult for me to get into the basics of computer science without proper mentorship, and it took longer than usual time for me to get started. That's something that blocked me, but luckily I had a bunch of seniors to help me out with that, and it worked out well for me. And so it's very important to have a person with experience to guide you through the process, and it's a very important aspect of your journey. So always try to find that person who can guide you through it, and who can help you out when you need, and that's gonna help you a lot in your journey, and it's gonna make the journey easier actually. So yeah. And the second thing that I would say is we didn't have much exposure at college, much research facilities at college. So I had to apply for different other programs that was taking place in other universities, in other colleges. So it's a big blocker for students who are willing to work on STEM if they don't have research facilities at their own college. But yeah, you can actually compensate for it by applying to different other bunch of other college programs, and you can talk to other professors and lecturers to overcome that issue. So yeah, all the best for it. The third thing that I would like to mention is we didn't have much industrial experience. We didn't have exposure to industrial trends. So it was kind of difficult for us to understand how to crack an interview, what skills to focus on, and what exactly to do to crack an interview, to get into industry. So that's something that definitely blocked us for some time. And what I did is I communicated with people from industry in social media platform. LinkedIn is a super place to connect with professional people, and it's always a good idea to talk to someone who is in the industry, and who can help you out if you're figuring out what are the trends that are currently the industry is following, and what are the the skills that you need to acquire to get into industry, and what are the things that you should focus on to get into this specific domain. So always try to communicate with other people, and there you're gonna get a lot of insights on what you need to do to get into industry directly without any help of college or off campus. So yeah. Okay, so the next question that we have is what effect do you think will COVID-19 have on gender parity in the tech industry? Okay, so this event is actually unprecedented, and I think it cannot be determined as of now. It's such a big crisis that everyone is affected and everyone is intimidated. So big companies are already putting so much efforts and giving attention to gender disparity, and they are trying to do their best to address this issue, but the statistics says that it's not enough. So we need to work a lot towards this issue, and we can hope for the best and give our best to compensate for it. So the next question that we have here is what do you think causes gender inequality in engineering colleges? How can they be overcome? So I think the biggest thing that causes gender inequality in colleges is the mentality of a group of people. It's the mentality that female students can't stay at night for a long time for work or for projects, so it decreases their efficiency. The mentality that women can't handle jobs in technology or management or consultancy or marketing, or it's the thinking that women are more suitable for safe jobs like government jobs or lectureship or teachership. So I would say these are something that are followed blindly as a tradition, and we really need to understand that time is changing, and we need to adapt with the change of time, and in this way we can focus our decisions on real facts, the current facts, instead of following blind traditions which has been followed since a long time. So the second part of the question is how to overcome such inequalities in college. So I can give you some tips that I followed and that worked out for me, so I hope that will work out for you as well. So the first thing is, trust your instincts and stand up for yourself. Always fight for yourself. Fight for what is right for you, and your dedication and your hard work is always going to speak for itself. So always stand for yourself. Always trust your instincts, and always show up. Always show up for any extracurricular activity that you are interested in. And the next thing is I would say is take calculated risk. decide the pros and cons, and decide what you're gonna achieve from this task, and what are the risks that you are putting yourself in, and then decide if you want to take it or not. So take calculated risks, but do take risk. The third thing is, inspire other female around you to get into the community, inspire other people and back them up. It's always a good idea to have some people, some like-minded people around you. So make a community, be a part of community, and then try to give back to the community what you learned. So that's gonna help you a lot. Then next thing is learn how to say no. It's a very difficult thing to occur. We often forget to learn how to say no to things that we are not interested in, or we think that's not gonna work for us. So always learn how to say no, and agree to disagree. So everyone is not there to cow you down. So it's always a good idea to reach out for help and ask for help when you need. So these are some things that might help you out overcome the gender inequality. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Have you ever felt that you have been treated differently in your workplace because of your gender, given less work or not enough credit? So no, I don't think I have been treated any differently from other people in my team. All my team members are very supportive, and they are very kind to me, and they are more of like friends to me, and I haven't faced any such situation yet, but I'm in a very preliminary stage of my career. So yeah. So moving on to the next question. What sort of technological advancement do you think we are looking at in next 5 to 10 years? So I truly believe the future is artificial intelligence and machine learning and data science. It has huge use cases and applications in every aspect of our life. And with advancement of technology, the use cases are even increasing. Be it healthcare, be it vehicles, be it educational field, it's going to be everywhere. But I would also like to mention that because some technology is rising, it's not end of all the other technologies. It's going to stay in harmony, and wherever in whatever technology you are in, it's going to grow, it's going to change, but it's not going to eradicate. So try to be expert in whatever field domain you are working on, and it's going to change, and that's the beauty of technology. But it's obviously going to grow. Some of the other technologies that I am personally looking forward to is advancement in healthcare technologies, neurotechnologies, and advancement in space science, quantum physics, and the in software development, evolution of APIs, and hybrid cloud technologies, and cloud native technologies, and the list goes on. Actually, every technology is going to obviously grow and change and be better in next 5 to 10 years. So yeah. So the next question that I'm going to address is probably the most important question that people are looking forward to. What basic skills would you urge students to be thorough with now that might come in handy later? So I would say be expert in whatever field or whatever domain that you are currently working on, and strengthen your basic skills. Like if you are into software, learn about data structured algorithms and the terms that you come across in day-to-day life, be it DBMS, be it cloud, or anything that you are working on right now. Be an expert in that, and make it like stronger and stronger with each day. And apart from technological skills, I would say improve your soft skills like public speaking, leadership, and improve your curiosity to learn. Always try to adopt new technologies. Those are actually going to help you in real life. So honestly, the technical choices are something that are very personal. Any domain that you want to choose, you can choose, and you can check whether it works for you or not, and then you can change to another domain if it doesn't. And if it does work for you, then be an expert in that. But soft skills are something that everybody should be having and everybody should obtain. So definitely try to get into that, and definitely try to acquire those soft skills. So yeah. So yeah, guys, that's it from my side. Thank you so much for giving your precious time, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And it would be my pleasure if you guys can actually benefit from this, the points that I gave. So yeah, thank you so much, and I hope to see you in social media platform or in real life soon. So yeah, thank you.